You are Locked On Dodgers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, let's just say it. That was too damn close for comfort. Again, feel like a lot of these ninth innings when we're just cruising along are getting to be nail biters, although last night was not. Daniel Hudson came in and slammed the door. Didn't quite understand why they didn't go to him tonight, other than the fact that he pitched last night. That makes a little bit of sense. I'm Pete Fox. This is the Locked On Dodgers Postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. You can also listen to us on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. That's where you find the Locked On Daily Dodgers podcast for you everydayers that make us your first listen. We appreciate you. Thanks for joining me here as your second listen right after the game. We break it down here on the Locked On Dodgers Postcast. Hold on today for a 5-2 win, their fifth in a row. Evan Phillips came in to get the final out. That had everyone kind of feeling a tad bit uneasy, to say the least. I felt good about Vesia coming in the ninth, but he walked two guys pretty quickly, and he's walked only two guys over his last 12 games. So that was a bit surprising. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Dodgers Postcast is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah, the right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rival city. Check out Booking.com for your stay today. Again, 5-2 the final. That is win number 61 for the Dodgers versus 41 losses, 20 games over 500, 33-19. I don't know if that gets Evan Phillips' confidence back, but it's, getting out of a jam for sure. Walks Soria to start the Soler to start the outing, and then gets Lamont Wade Jr., who was 0 on the day, but has been very good against the Dodgers of late. So a little bit shaky, a little bit scary, but in the end, a nice win. 5-2. The bottom of the lineup has it rolling. Shohei Ohtani, another very bizarre day. 3 Ks in a row, and then a double and a single. And it did seem a little bit like Oral pointed this out during the broadcast, that it did seem like Shohei was trying to shorten up, trying to make contact, trying to put the ball in play. You could tell from his warm-up swing, he wasn't taking a full swing. He was kind of like a lot of golfers do in the tee box, whether you're a professional or a weekend hack. A lot of people are working on a specific movement when they're on the tee and not just trying to get loose. It's a specific, Justin Rose does this a lot. You see a lot of guys do this on the PGA Tour, but that's what Shohei was doing. Just a short little abbreviated portion of his swing, trying to make contact, quick hands to the ball, and it worked. That last at bat, that fifth at bat, single in the eighth, looked perfect. Textbook. Got started early, got the foot down, head on the ball, short and quick to the ball. Guess what? Contact, hard hit ball to right field for an RBI, a little insurance there that the Dodgers turned out to need. 5-2 the final. I for just from a standpoint of feeling more comfortable that this game was in the books. Roy, I agree with you. You feel like at times in the third and the fourth and the fifth inning, like 1 or 2 is enough, but then you get to the eighth and ninth, and 6-5 4-run leads are not safe. Well, I don't know what they're going to do about that. There is definitely a question mark hanging over that closer position, because I don't know if it's Daniel Hudson in high leverage situations. Does he have what it takes as a veteran, an older dude? He's been pitching pretty good. Evan Phillips seems to be shaky. Dave Roberts went out of his way to say that, well, he didn't say that he wasn't the closer, but he also didn't say that Evan Phillips was the closer. So, and Evan Phillips basically wasn't offended by that, had a conversation with Doc to the effect of, hey man, I don't know what's going on. I physically feel fine. My stuff is there. It's kind of more of a head thing right now. and whatever you need to do with regard to how you use me, that's fine. I'm just here to help the team win games. And he did that tonight, getting the save. Lux, yes, Gavin Lux has been very good, winning player of the week in the National League last week, and then comes out tonight. The 2-hit performance from Gavin Lux got on the Diamond Dogs list. He's the only guy with 2 hits in the lineup other than Shohei. So Shohei's an enigma. I don't get it. I never will. Struck out 5 times over the past 2 games and then had 2 solid hits and 3 RBI. So of course we completely overlook and forget about the 3 strikeouts. I started looking at stats. I was just curious because to me, it feels like Shohei strikes out all the time. Like he's striking out every other time at bat. And I had to go look up and see how many strikeouts he has and where that ranks in the majors. I think today with his 3 strikeouts, he's right around 100 or 101. And I believe that was around 33, 34 in the league. So it's not really all that high. I was also surprised to learn that Teoscar Hernandez is top 10 in the league in strikeouts, and it's only like 19 or 20 more. It's not that much more. The leader in the league is some guy I never heard of. I think he's a Cincinnati Red or maybe a Washington National or something. It's like 135. So for Shohei to have 100 and the top guy in the league in the strikeout department is 135, that's, it's up there. It's definitely up there, but his productivity is overshining his strikeouts. Jeff chiming in. Jeff, host of the Locked On Dodgers postcast with Vince. You can hear them Monday through Friday, usually right after I get done, sometimes live, sometimes they record it and put it up on the website or the YouTube channel. Otani's strikeout rate is slightly better than average for the league and very good for a power hitter. Indeed. Yes, very true. I think I just hold him to a little bit of a higher standard because he's Shohei Ohtani. That's all. And I know that he could be more productive and strike out less if he wanted to. But you're right, Jeff. He is a power hitter, and I guess we'll take that because he does things like he did tonight. 3 ugly strikeouts, just up there flailing, not trying to make contact. I'm sure he's trying to, but it didn't look good. Like not close, I guess is a better way of describing it. But then his last 2 hits were spot on. Textbook. Very quality piece of hitting 2 times there, and that's what we come away with. 3 strikeouts, 3 RBI. Obviously, the 3 RBI considerably more important and productive in this 5-2 win that has the Dodgers on a 5-game winning streak after sweeping the Red Sox, and now can do no worse than splitting this series with the Giants. Tonight, I felt like they were just in control throughout, and the thing I like best about this game, I will tell you right after the break. There's one stat that I learned about late in the game that I was like, wow, that is clutch. Don't forget to check out Jeff and Vince, the Locked On Dodgers daily podcast coming on their Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel right after I get done. You can also listen to us on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed, wherever you find your podcast. This is the Locked On Dodgers postcast, and I am Pete Fox. We'll be right back. Yeah, that's just something we say. We're not going anywhere. I know, sounds stupid, but just been in my lexicon for way too long for me to not say. We'll be right back. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Dodgers podcast is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah, with summer travel heating up, especially travel for baseball games. It's time to explore those cities you always secretly wanted to, but haven't because your rival resides in that city. I have a handful of cities like this. When I first met my current wife, which was like 15 years ago, my ex-wife was from the Bay Area, and I've always hated the Giants for obvious reasons. But my current wife would say that I hated San Francisco because of my ex-wife and the Giants. And I'm like, well, you're half right, but that doesn't mean I won't go to San Francisco. San Francisco is a very cool city. The Bay Area in general is very cool. So in spite of the fact that the Giants reside there, I think it's a cool city, and it is worth check it out, right? Hotels, bed and breakfasts, vacation rentals, resorts, so much more available on booking.com in your rival's city. You might just find your perfect stay in a city that you didn't think you would, like San Francisco, where your rival resides. From hotels that overlook stadiums like at Petco in San Diego to family-friendly resorts, booking.com has so many choices across the U.S. for your summer travel this Major League Baseball season. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rival city. Booking.com. Book today on the website, booking.com, or on the booking.com app. Tonight's show also brought to you by FanDuel. You know, I love sports. I love them so much that I don't ever really want them to stop. And when they do stop, like they did on Sunday when the Open Championship was over, I was a bit miffed and didn't know what to do because the Dodger game was on late. And I was like, it was like 11 or 1 or 12. I was like, what do we do now? Well, here's an idea. If the sports aren't sportsing enough for you, head over to FanDuel and keep the sports going whenever you want. All you have to do is open the app, dream up some bets anytime you are in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long at FanDuel.com. Again, head over to FanDuel.com. Start making the most of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Dodgers with a 3-2. I'm sorry, that was yesterday. Today was 5-2. Got a little shaky there in the ninth. Vesia walked a couple guys. Again, he hasn't walked two guys, or he's walked only two guys in his previous 12 outings. Walked two tonight, but then got two quick Ks, threw about 24 pitches, I believe, but 26 pitches, but got the 2 outs, handed it over to Evan Phillips, who came in, walked the first guy, that was Soler, and then got that 27th and final out of the game. So hopefully that helps Evan Phillips with his confidence. But this is the stat that I came away with from this game that I absolutely love. The Dodgers scored all 5 of their runs with 2 outs. That is so fantastic. It doesn't get much more clutch than that. What is this? Mark, good morning. Where's Mark? Mark says, good morning in my time zone. And then he says, now we understand everything, Pete. I think that has to do with my San Francisco story there during the booking.com app. Where are you, Mark? I need to know this. This is interesting. I think I'm assuming that everyone's in LA, Israel. So cool. That's awesome. We're global. Appreciate you, Mark. Big time. That's awesome. Roy says, when you go to Frisco, and by the way, Roy, you know that people from San Francisco hate it when you say Frisco. So good on you there. Do you go to Castro Street? That's the majority of the Giants fans. That's not funny. But yes, I've been there. I've been all over various parts of San Francisco. I do not like the crime that is going on in downtown San Francisco right now. That's an unfortunate part of it. But, you know, the touristy things are cool. Obviously, the stadium is fantastic. And there's just a lot to see and do in that city. Yeah, all 5 runs tonight with 2 outs. That's a really, really good feeling. That is clutch at its finest. And I think that's the kind of thing that the Dodgers can really use more of, right? I obviously looked at this game until the 9th inning and I thought, you know, there's really not much to feel down about, negative. There's not much to criticize or exploit or say, well, that was unfortunate and that I didn't like. I thought they did an okay job with Fitzgerald, who did hit a home run in 5 consecutive games. This guy is homered, but they did a pretty good job. He did have 3 hits. I feel like they got him out in a crucial situation by kind of pitching around him. And you know that my feeling on that is Knack did a very nice job at one point with Fitzgerald, pitched around him, put him on base with 4 quick ones, not an intentional walk, but the intentional walk. So for Chapman, to go 0 for 3. That was nice to see. For Soler and Wade to go 0 for, that was awesome. Ramos had a couple of hits, but Fitzgerald, the big star who's red hot right now for the Giants. I don't know that he's a star, but he's hitting the ball like one of late. Again, 5 consecutive games with a home run. And I think he had like 5 in his entire career before these last 5 games or something. So his average up to 322, 2 RBI tonight, and a walk and a strikeout. So I'm sorry, a walk and not a strikeout. That's the guy ahead of him, Conforto. So they did a pretty good job, but for whatever reason, I don't know. I just felt like Knack had good command today, mixing it up real nice. His Ks went like this: slider, change, curve, 4-seam. And then there was question as to the next one. It was a fastball, but they thought it might be a 2-seam because it had some inside run on a left-handed hitter, and then a 4-seam to finish it off. So just a solid performance from that guy. And it did feel like he had just control of what he wanted to do. He had that sort of bulldog mentality that I like about him. He's kind of unlike River Ryan yesterday, who is a little bit more of a finesse pitcher, but can still get it up to the high 90s. Landon Knack to me is more like a head-on, fighter out there. He seems like a tough guy, East Tennessee and whatnot. So 5 innings today, 1 earned run on 2 hits, 6 Ks with 2 walks, surrendered the 1 home run through 96 pitches, and has his ERA at 3.07. The record now 2-2. You guys have commented. Honeywell, a couple of different people have mentioned him. He was once again very good, got the hold. He went 2 innings, allowed just 1 hit, the rest zeros. So yeah, I'm feeling very confident about him when he comes in, and I'm starting to appreciate the turtleneck, right? And he kind of he looks like a hockey player to me. He's got the flow going with the little mullet, the turtleneck, the screwball, which not something we see all that often. So he's an interesting character. And with a 0.87 ERA, 22 pitches over 2 innings, fan-freaking-tastic. Blake Trinan, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. So a mixture of things from him, but got out of it. No runs scored, 16 pitches. The ERA coming down now at 2.03. 2.03. Vesia, talked about him, 2/3 of an inning, a run, a hit, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, and 26 pitches, got out of it with only the 1 run, and then Phillips came in for the save. So from a bullpen perspective, I not a lot to feel upset about prior to the 9th inning, when you're like sitting there going, come on, this game should have been in the books a while ago. Why are we sitting here fretting and fretting? Why did I overpronounce the word fretting? Such an old man word too. I got to get that out of my vocabulary. I was fretting during that. I was freaking out. How about that? That the Dodgers were going to blow this one, and that would not have been a good feeling. But all in all, they got it done, and it looked confident. It looked dominant, clutch hits. They've been hitting with runners in scoring position, which is something, I know it's been a while, but it's something that they have struggled with over this season. Their batting average since the All-Star break, 357 with runners in scoring position. So that's another thing that we can really hang our hat on right now and say, that's good to see. And ultimately, they kept the Giants off the bases, and the Giants have really been struggling. I shouldn't say they kept them off bases. They had runners on, 5 hits in all. Dodgers out hit them 9-5, but with runners in scoring position, they have really been struggling in this series. Tonight, they were 1 for 7. And I believe they're like 2 for 12 or something over this series. So it's been a tough go for them, and you can give the Dodger pitchers credit for that. As to whether or not Dave Roberts has been involved with any of these pitching decisions that have been kind of helping the Dodgers along through this, I don't know. we'll have to see how it turns out for Phillips, right? Joe and Oral liked the move, giving Evan Phillips the opportunity to earn the save with a short leash and just one out. All you got to do is get one out. He walked a guy, didn't seem to bother him. He didn't have a worried look on his face, just doing his job. So he got over that hump and then got Lamont Wade for the final out of the game. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's obviously, I think, going to take a little bit more than just one quick two-batter outing in the ninth for him to kind of regain that confidence. But I don't know. Nando does. He believes that Dave Roberts still should be fired. Of course you do, Nando. I appreciate your consistency. I wish the Dodgers closers were as consistent as you are. That would be great. 5-2 the final. 5 in a row for the Dodgers. They scored all 5 runs with 2 outs. That's a beautiful sight. It really is. And Gavin Lux, the average up to 226. The OPS over 600. Just barely. 2 for 4, continuing that streak from last week when he was National League Player of the Week. And we have to do the Diamond Dogs list. Rambling on here about San Francisco. In at number 5, Gavin Lux, 2 RBI double to right field. Was thrown out at third, trying to stretch it into a triple. Not quite as fast as he used to be. Also had a single in the 5th where his 2 hits on the night. Kevin Biggio, number 4, nice single to right in the 4th inning, setting up 1st and 3rd with 1 out. Then came Shohei Ohtani, 2 out, 2-run double in the 4th. Okay, that was the next inning. Sorry, I thought it came right after Kevin Biggio. It was not. It was in the 4th. Otani, again, a 2 out, 2-run double where he absolutely smoked it down the line. Pitch came down and in, and it was something he apparently was sitting on because he was on top of that one and absolutely torched it. For number 2, Chris Taylor, a really nice single in the 6th, and that really didn't get him on the list. What got him on the list was his walk-up music, Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You. That was brilliant. Now, they were talking about it as if somebody else was picking the music tonight. I didn't quite catch all of that. But that was cool. I love bizarre, random walk-up songs. That is my favorite thing about going to a baseball game live, when people have just bizarre, different walk-up songs. And for number 1 tonight, Landon Knack's performance gets him number 1 spot on the Diamond Dogs list, with honorable mention to Honeywell, who went 2, giving up just 1 hit, the rest zeros. But Landon Knack, 5 innings, 1 run on just 2 hits, striking out 6 with 2 walks. A fantastic performance from him as the Dodger rookies continue to take care of business and shine when they're getting the opportunity. And that's a good feeling. The future's bright. Tomorrow, things kind of get back to normal. And then, of course, Thursday, I know some of you were worried about this, but Clayton Kershaw will get the start. Tyler Glasnow goes tomorrow to win the series for the Dodgers, and that's also a good feeling for me. I'm looking forward to him getting back out there and hopefully dominating. We'll take the final break, come back, talk a little bit about Walker Buehler. I heard some news about him and Yamamoto, which they called no news, although it is news, even though it was not very informative. We'll talk about that after the break. I'm Pete Fox. This is the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. You can also listen to us on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed, where you will find Jeff and Vince doing that live right after I get done on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel. So make sure you check that out. Tonight's show also brought to you by our friends at eBay Motors. You know, I'm a big fan of eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience are what bring home the winning trophy in sports. It's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle. And, sometimes just keeping it running smoothly is more important than how cool it looks, right? Maybe that's something that you appreciate as you get a little bit older. Just want to get in the car. I want to start it up and I want it to run. I don't want to have to worry or stress or any of that stuff. But sometimes you want to, take it to the next level. They have stuff like superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, brake kits, rotors, brakes, etc. And of course, a whole lot more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay's guaranteed fit, your part is guaranteed your fit your ride every time, or you get your money back. I always love that thing. You just put it in the car, make and model, and it says, yes, this part will fit, or no, it will not fit. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay's guaranteed fit, only available to U.S. customers. All right, Dodgers get a 5-2 win over the Giants tonight. Got a little shaky in the ninth, but ultimately took care of business and got out of there with the win. Tyler Glasnow will go tomorrow on Kike Hernandez bobblehead night. That's a good feeling that his little stint on the IL was short and right back in there. I don't even think he missed a start technically because of the All-Star break. But I heard news about Walker Buehler that I found interesting. I had heard originally when he went on the IL that it wasn't for an injury, that it was just kind of a mental reset. And then the story I read today was that it was not. He had a hip injury, wasn't feeling good, and was pissed off at people like me, assuming that he wasn't hurt. So I'm just telling you what I read. So sorry, Walks. Nothing intended to be offensive there. It was just a little surprising. It didn't seem like he was hurt, but I guess he was. And they went down the recovery route a little differently. They sent him away. He wasn't I can't remember exactly where he went, but I think he went back to East Coast or something and was working with somebody from Vanderbilt because that's where he went to college. And so it could be good in the long run for his return, whenever that is, hopefully soon. But I think the fact that they've tried some new stuff and they've gotten some guys to work with. Cressy, the former Dodger bullpen guy, I guess was involved in this rehab, and guys that Walker Buehler is comfortable with. So that's the bottom line. And hopefully he'll come back stronger and better and more motivated than we've seen him recently, because the last time we saw him, he had one good outing during that return from the IL and the rest was garbage. So hopefully, he'll be 100% healthy. The hip will be back in good shape. He'll be out there performing. As far as Yamamoto goes, he made some statement first time, I guess it was at the end of the Boston series, saying something to the effect of that he doesn't exactly know when he's going to be back, but he's hoping to get back this season and is still working on throwing, but not a lot of progress. So there was some info. It was the first time he talked. So it was something, but not a lot to chew on there. So basically still a lot of question marks hanging over whether or not we'll see Yamamoto. And if we do, how healthy he will be. Again, Dodgers a 5-2 win number 61 versus 41 losses. They're 33-19 at the Ravine. The Giants are now 48-54, 20-32 on the road. As for the standings in the West after the win, Dodgers sitting atop the West, a comfortable 8.5 games ahead of the Padres, who've won 3 in a row, but only 4 of their last 10. Diamondbacks kind of hot right now, one of the hotter teams in baseball, having won 7 of their last 10, but they're still sitting 9 back of the Dodgers. So LA is 8.5 up on the Pods, 9 up on the Diamondbacks, and 13 in front of the Giants. Colorado Rockies are a distant 24 games back. That will do it for tonight's Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel. Be sure to listen to us as well wherever you find your podcasts on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. And don't forget, check out Jeff and Vince doing the Locked On Dodgers podcast live here in just a few minutes. Thanks for joining me here. Enjoy the rest of your night. We will talk again tomorrow.